QR's got no one to blame except themselves.
Paul Pluta is the whistleblower behind documents which revealed the extent of the driver shortage.
It's the executives at QR who should be ashamed of themselves. They should get out of their Statesman, get out of their 5 Series BMW and take the train.
Since the data was collected, the Queensland Rail saga has claimed a Transport Minister and a CEO. Now a new minister says she's determined to fix it.
We know that this is not going to be fixed overnight. It's not going to be fixed in a couple of months.
Max Futcher, 7 News.
The highly anticipated report into Queensland Rail's timetabling disaster will be handed to the Palaszczuk government tomorrow.
But the Premier won't have a chance to meet author Phillip Strachan until Friday when she returns from governing in central Queensland. Tegan George reports.
It's being sold as a way to revitalise Rockhampton, the government to build an apartment complex to create jobs.
Around 40 jobs will be created during this revitalisation project.
But there could be a few people without a job later this week. The government will receive tomorrow the final report into Queensland Rail's colossal stuff-up over driver shortages.
Phillip Strachan wants to personally discuss his report with me when I am back in Brisbane on Friday afternoon.
3 senior executives have already fallen on their swords. The opposition wants the Premier to release the inquiry's findings tomorrow.
We're not in the age of carrier pigeons. We have telephone, we have Skype. Why do we have to wait another week to see the results of the Strachan inquiry?
We will be working on that report over the weekend. It will go to Cabinet on Monday, and on Monday the report will be publicly released as well as the government's response.
As bad luck would have it, there were hour-long delays on the trouble-prone Redcliffe Peninsula line this morning, shut down to fix a communication problem.
Delay one, I don't think will be is not good.
Yes, I've felt very disruptive this morning.
I felt like this could occur any time on any heavy rail system anywhere in the world.
The much-touted Cross River Rail is also giving the government grief. It's fallen behind schedule and is still billions short in funding.
We're ready to go. We need Malcolm Turnbull to come on board.
Major works are meant to start in April 2018.
And Tegan joins us from Rockhampton. Tegan, the Premier is spending the week in central Queensland.
Georgie, usually after these community cabinet events we see everyone pack up and leave by tomorrow morning, but with the state election tipped for later this year, the Premier and her ministers are obviously very keen to speak with as many stakeholders as they can, especially those who may be thinking about switching over to One Nation. So that's what they're going to be doing here this evening in the building behind me, which conveniently or coincidentally is an old railway station. The Premier is going to be spending the next couple of days here in Rockhampton, and we're told she's going to be making a major announcement. She'll then head on to Gladstone before returning to Brisbane, where she's going to have to decide if more heads will roll over the QR fiasco.
Thank you, Tegan George, live there in Rockhampton.
Queensland's Crime and Corruption Commission has helped break open some of the state's biggest cases in recent years. Its secretive coercive hearings have forced witnesses to give up vital information, but some critics say the powers are being overused and go too far.
This is one of Queensland's most secretive rooms. Those called to testify in the so-called Star Chamber have no right to silence. If they refuse to cooperate or lie, they can be jailed.
They're a very powerful tool we use, but we take very seriously the use of them, and we have to convince ourselves that there is a proper basis to use the powers.
Evidence from CCC hearings helped convict 2 men over the McCulkin murders, a crime that had been unsolved since the 70s. In the Tiali Palmer case, the CCC trapped her foster family in a lie. Eventually, they gave up the killer, foster father Rick Thorburn. But while there's widespread support for the Star Chamber's use in major investigations, there's also concern the right to silence is being taken away in low-level cases.
There has to be some balance, a balance between police powers, CCC powers on the one hand and civil liberties on the other.
Over a decade, the number of investigative hearings have quadrupled to more than 340 a year. In 2017, Brisbane YouTuber Paul Pluta leaked top-secret documents detailing problems with Queensland Rail timetables and trains.
Newgen is a huge up.
It's understood he was summoned to the Star Chamber and forced to reveal his source. He's since been charged with allegedly revealing he was called to face a hearing.
It'd be different if you were talking about a terrorist incident, but this was talking about problems within Queensland Rail that needed in the public interest to be disclosed.
People who have access to confidential information are under an obligation of trust not to disclose that without very good reason. If there's, for instance, a belief that they want to blow the whistle, as it were, they should come to us confidentially.
The CCC doesn't release transcripts or recordings of its coercive hearings. In many cases, even telling someone you've been summoned to testify can be an offence. Civil libertarians want the powers reined in, but the CCC insists it's kept in check by the courts and a parliamentary oversight committee. Christian Silva, ABC News.